So ladies and gentlemen, it is a historic day, the first ever pack opening on the Stick on the Ice channel. I am going to be building my team through Series 1 tins. We are going to be opening a handful of packs today in order to build my team. Now I already know what you're wondering. Stick on the Ice, why didn't you just buy hobby boxes? Well, in order to have enough packs for this video, I would need to buy 2 hobby boxes, and after shipping, that would be like $350. This was about $200, just a little over $200. So yeah, save money where you can. So what we're going to do is we're going to be opening these 3 tins today, and I'm going to be selecting 1 player per pack. However, it can't just be any player. We're using inserts only. I'm not taking some random Connor McDavid base card. We are not doing that. It's inserts only. Let's get the pack opening started. Okay, this is going to look very rigged. I was just talking about a Connor McDavid base card. So I was opening the pack off camera. And as you can see, the first card I am seeing here is a Connor McDavid base card. I don't know how that worked out that way. But yes, Connor McDavid base card is the first thing I'm seeing. But as we know, we don't care about the Connor McDavid base cards. Colton Sissons is the first card we're looking at today. Colton Sissons is telling us exactly what our pack opening is going to be looking like today. And I don't know how I should feel about that. Moving on to the next base card. We got my man, Sam Lafferty. Yeah, Sam Lafferty is not my man. We do not care about the base cards. Nathan Mackinnon, not too worried about you. Jonas Korpisalo, I'm not worried about you. But I believe this next card is going to be our first insert, and we are going to be looking at, it is not an insert, it is actually Evan Rodriguez. Okay, I am yapping. Now this next card should be our first insert. And I want to point out, when it comes to rookies, who are we looking for? Demidov, of course, Jimmy Snuggerud, and Dalibor Dvorsky. That is what we are focused on today. So the first insert, I believe this is going to be a rookie card. I'm not 100% sure. Okay, I'm just yapping. Ryan Leonard Glossy. Technically, is this a rookie card? Like, he is a rookie. So Ryan Leonard is going to be one of our options. The other option we have, Mika Zibanejad. Honestly, that's not too bad. Mika Zibanejad, a decent enough overall. And then when it comes to our final player we're going to be looking at, it looks like we got a goaltender, Joey Daccord. What do you know about Joey Daccord in NHL 26? I've made my selection. Joey Daccord, you're going to be the first player I bring to the team. Welcome to our franchise. Also, in case you cared about the base cards, Devon Taves, Varlamov, Brady Tkachuk, and then we're finishing with Connor McDavid. But yeah, we're going to be starting off with Joey Daccord. A fantastic start. So we've added our first player to the team. Joey Daccord is going to be the first player we're packing. Starting off as an 85 overall. I don't really care what your overall is in the game. I know what you can do in NHL 26. You can step up when it matters. So let's go ahead and simulate our first season, starting with a goaltender. Can Joey Daccord single-handedly win us a game this season? Absolutely not, because we're probably not going to take a single shot. And if we're not taking shots, we're not winning games. Alright, we don't even have to worry about taking shots. The game is crashing after 1 game. So yeah, we are off to an incredible start. Also, if the game is crashing, that could only mean one thing. You haven't subscribed to the channel quite yet. And if you want the crashing to stop, then make sure you subscribe to the channel right now. Now, it's no surprise that Joey Daccord needs a little bit of support. Right now, he is surrounded with 0 overalls. So how about we change that? Barclay Goodrow. We have Ilya Mikheyev up next. I don't really care about these cards right here. I only care about the inserts. I'm not going to lie, that's actually a pretty clean picture right there. That is a clean card of Sergachev, but I'm not too worried about that. We're moving on to our first insert, and what is that going to be? The Buffalo Sabres, Alex Tuch. Alex Tuch's not a bad pickup. A good power forward, I could work with that. But we are looking for Demidov. I'm going to be honest, that is the main card I am focused on right now. And are we getting Demidov? I don't believe so. Instead, we're getting Nyman. I'm actually okay with Nyman. He was pretty good in a video not that long ago. So the first Young Guns we're looking at is Yanni Nyman. I actually am 90% sure I am saying his name wrong. Somebody left in the comments the actual pronunciation. And I completely forget what that pronunciation is. But that is going to be our first Young Guns of the day. Moving on to our next insert. And who do we have to look at? Jack Eichel. That's who we're going with. We're going with Jack Eichel. Alex Tuch, you would have been a great pickup, but you're not Jack Eichel. So Jack Eichel, there's going to be some high expectations with you joining this team. Not only do you have to take a couple shots this season, but you actually have to help us get through a couple games. We were only able to get through 1 game in the last simulation. We're looking to get through at least 2 this time. Now, the fact that getting through 2 games is kind of a goal for us, that tells you what kind of a start we're off to. Well, this is very interesting. I just learned that you didn't subscribe to the channel. I asked you to subscribe so we wouldn't have to deal with any more crashes, and you decided not to subscribe to to the channel? No, that's just ridiculous. So how about you prevent some crashes in the future by subscribing to the channel? Alright, we're moving on to pack number 3. The first player we're looking at is Shane Gostisbehere. Like usual, we do not care that much about these cards. We don't care about the base cards. We care about the UD canvas of Adam Lowry though. Adam Lowry, probably not the best option, but you know what? It's a nice canvas. Moving on to our next player. Who is that going to be? Is it another Young Guns? No, it is not. We're getting Slafkovsky. Slafkovsky actually wouldn't be a bad pickup. Like an 86, 87 overall, I could work with that. But you know who else I could work with? Sean Monahan. That's another decent option right there. A pretty clean looking card. But you know what, Sean Monahan? I think I'm going to be passing up on you. Actually, no, I'm not. Sean Monahan, I'm going to go with you. And the reason for that is I'm going to hold off for Demidov. I do not want to add a Montreal Canadian to the team unless I am getting a Young Guns Ivan Demidov. Alright, so we now have 3 players on the team. When it came to the last simulation, I actually didn't mention this, but we only made it through about 3 weeks. So we weren't even able to get through the first month of the season before the game crashed. Sean Monahan, Jack Eichel, Joey Daccord, please complete a season. Now, like at this point, we've spent more time watching me open packs than simulating games because we can only make it through about 2 or 3. Okay, this is getting beyond ridiculous. 3 times in a row, we have added 3 players to this team and we have had 3 straight crashes. No more crashes moving forward. This is beyond ridiculous. EA, please fix this game. Now, when it comes to pack number 4, I really wish this was a Young Guns Macklin Salbrini. Unfortunately, that is not the case. Sergei Bobrovsky is going to be up next. Then we got David Gustafsson. Who is that? Justin Falk on the St. Louis Blues, one of the worst teams in the entire league right now. I can't even gas this team up about being an incredible franchise. No, we're literally one of the worst teams in the entire league. Monty is our first insert when it comes to this pack. Monchbolt, I'm going to keep it a stack. We're not going with you because we have Joey Daccord here. Hopefully the next insert I see is a Montreal Canadiens though, and we're going to be looking at Ivan Demidov. I don't believe that is the case. Instead, Karlsson Duarte is going to be our next Young Guns. We have pulled 2 Young Guns so far, Nyman and Duarte. We are not off to a great start. Also, if I'm reading his name wrong, there's actually a very good reason for that. I'm currently trying to read the cards through the camera, and this is actually a lot more difficult than you think. I have a very questionable setup right now. But you know what? We're not going to worry about it. We have a Cup Quest, Erik Karlsson, and I think we're going to go with Erik Karlsson. We could use the defenseman on the team. We haven't drafted one yet. So Erik Karlsson, welcome to the team. Alright, there's really only one thing I can say: get through an entire season. That's it. Just make it through one entire season. Don't freeze a game 80. Don't crash in the first week. Don't crash in the first 3 weeks. Don't crash after one game. Make it through the entire season. It's really not that difficult of a task. I'm not asking you guys to win games. I'm asking you not to crash and not to freeze on me. I'm asking for the very minimum when it comes to this game. Just being able to simulate one season. Now, you do not understand how difficult this was for us to simulate an entire season. You might be thinking, I just added Erik Karlsson to the team and then things were all good. That is not the case. I had to re-simulate this season 6 different times. On the 6th attempt, we finally got through the season. The other 5 seasons, they all crashed. It crashed 5 times in a row before we were finally able to get through this season. We're losing 1 game in OT, but we did it. We finally made it through an entire season. We shouldn't be celebrating this as much as we are, but we have to appreciate us finally getting through a season here, because I honestly thought it was going to be impossible. Joey Daccord, you lost 1 game in overtime this season. The Edmonton Oilers are Stanley Cup champions, but which team did we lose to in OT? Which team couldn't take us down in regulation? Because whichever team it is, they should relocate, and it looks like that team is going to be the Seattle Kraken. For some reason, they couldn't take down the San Fran Golden Eagles in regulation. They needed overtime. Nah, what are y'all doing over there? So we're moving on to pack number 5 and player number 5, and I feel like this is the perfect time to mention I am actually doing this pack opening beforehand. So I'm going to open all of the packs before I actually simulate any seasons. So I haven't added Joey Daccord to my team. I haven't added Jack Eichel to my team. I'm doing this recording beforehand and then editing it all in. So I actually have no clue how well my team is doing. Peyton Krebs is going to be our next player, but he's not an insert. This next player is going to be an insert. And is this going to be a rookie? I don't believe it is. Instead, we're getting a glossy Travis Konechny. Honestly, Konechny isn't really that bad of a pickup. So if we want to go with Konechny, we definitely could. But instead, we have a better option. Philip Forsberg or Roman Josi. Two different players we could select here, or do I just make a rule where I can select both of them? Maybe I should be allowed to select both of these players right here. Linus Ullmark, UD Portraits. This would actually be a very good pickup. We would have our goaltender for the future. But you know what? I'm going with either Philip Forsberg or Roman Josi. And I think we're going to go with Roman Josi, one of the best defensemen in the game, one of the highest rated defensemen. I feel like this is a no-brainer. So Roman Josi is now going to be joining our defense, and we're going to be pairing him up alongside Erik Karlsson. Obviously, that's a no-brainer. However, it's not really as much of a no-brainer as you think, because now we're only going to have two forwards on the top line, so I wouldn't be surprised if we actually scored less goals this season and probably don't win a game in OT. So we finally made it through another season. Unfortunately, we did experience another crash, so yeah, things are not going according to plan. We're finally going to be winning a game this season. We actually won a game in regulation. I'm very curious to see who we beat, except we all know it's the St. Louis Blues, because why wouldn't it be the St. Louis Blues? That team is in the utter trenches along with a couple other teams. We shut somebody out. We got a shutout this season. No, it better not be the St. Louis Blues. We better not have shut out the St. Louis Blues. Out of all teams, I am praying that it didn't happen against the St. Louis Blues. That would absolutely break my heart. Now, when it comes to the team that we shut out this season, who was it? I haven't seen the game yet. The Carolina Hurricanes. We shut out the Carolina Hurricanes. Alright, that makes about as much sense as Buffalo winning the Stanley Cup this season. In what universe are we shutting out Carolina of all teams? Alright, I think that's enough nonsense for this simulation. Let's move on to another pack. So moving forward, we're just ripping through all the base cards. I am not worried about base cards whatsoever. We quickly flip through 5 of them, seeing Austin Matthews right here, but we can't bring Austin Matthews to the team. So we'll slowly pull this card down, praying that we're getting a superstar rookie. That is not the case. Instead, we're getting an encore Morgan Rielly. We've taken 2 defensemen already, so I don't think we're going to be going with Morgan Rielly. The next option up, Connor Bedard. With the way Bedard's been playing this season, I feel like I have to go with him. Unfortunately, this isn't a Young Guns Connor Bedard. I would have preferred that, but we got Dalibor Dvorsky. We got one of the chasers we were going for. Dalibor Dvorsky, Young Guns rookie. That's what we wanted. This makes up for not getting Demidov. Not really. Now, I would like to say moving forward, we shouldn't have to worry about crashes anymore. Jack Eichel, Connor Bedard, and Sean Monahan on our top line. Roman Josi and Erik Karlsson as our top defensive pairing. And then we have Joey Daccord as our goaltender. So we're going to have 6 legit NHL players on the ice for us at the exact same time. I feel like we should be done with the crashes now. And before this game crashes in the first week, because there's a 90% chance of that happening. Alright, so we are setting records in this video. We're 15 crashes in. I wish I was lying. 15 crashes so far in this video, and we have 6 players on the team. I don't know how that works. Connor Bedard, 13 goals, 20 assists for 33 points, but there is a chance that by the time we win a Stanley Cup, this game would have crashed 30 different times on me. That just shouldn't happen. Under no circumstances should this game be crashing 30 times. Like, it's actually beyond ridiculous at this point. The Ottawa Senators Stanley Cup champions. Luckily, we're getting good players so far with the packs, and I think that's going to continue based on the inserts we're getting. But yeah, 15 crashes so far. Things really can't get much worse for us. So what can I say? Tin number 1 was an absolute success. A Dalibor Dvorsky rookie card, a St. Louis Blues rookie. I can't complain about that. We have a Lucas Raymond glossy to look at. It looks like we got ourselves a David Pastrnak sizzle reel. We're going with David Pastrnak. No question in my mind, David Pastrnak is the guy we're bringing to the team here. The other option is going to be Clayton Keller. Yeah, no, we're going with David Pastrnak. Let's keep this very simple. David Pastrnak, welcome to the team. Now, David Pastrnak, you're bringing big expectations to the team. And I'm not talking about you scoring goals. I could care less if you did that. Can you somehow help this team get through an entire season without crashing? Honestly, that's more impressive than you being a goal per game this season. Now, David Pastrnak, as I mentioned, if we got through the entire season without crashing, that is more impressive than you being a goal per game this season. And you know what? You did that. You helped this team get through the entire season without crashing. A 6-71-5 record, I could care less about that. We finally did it. We made it through one simulation without crashing. We had 3 point-a-game players on this team. I feel like we have set the expectations way too high now. 32 goals from Eichel, 33 from David Pastrnak, 36 from Connor Bedard. I need you guys to replicate this next season, and if you don't, we're likely going to be winning less games. When it comes to Joey Daccord's numbers: 6 wins, a 911, and a 491. Yeah, I feel like this season was a little bit too successful with how many players we had on the team. Like, we won 6 games and then lost 5 in overtime. Unless we're bringing in another superstar with our next pack, I don't know how we're going to be able to top this. So we're just about done with tin number 1. This is the final pack of tin number 1. We're going to be adding one more player before we move on to the next tin. Logan Thompson, you're a pretty solid goaltender, but we already have Joey Daccord, so I'm likely not going to be going with you. Unless you turn out to be the best option, you know what, that is the case. It looks like we're getting another rookie card, Luca Cagnoni. I would have definitely preferred a different San Jose Sharks young gun, and his name is Mackinnon Celebrini, but we are not going to be able to get Mackinnon Celebrini here. Instead, we're walking away with Nathan MacKinnon. A Nathan MacKinnon goal-oriented. Yeah, we're building a super team right now. Nathan MacKinnon, Jack Eichel, Connor Bedard, Nathan MacKinnon, David Pastrnak. Yeah, we're going to be winning a Stanley Cup sooner than later. All right, so I was questioning whether or not this team is going to be even better, but now that we add Nathan MacKinnon, there is no doubt in my mind that this team's going to be winning more games this season. Last season, we were able to win 6. I think we're going to be looking at potentially 10 this season. Jack Eichel, you're moving down to the second line, but that's perfectly fine because we have Nathan MacKinnon on the top line now. Now, as I expected, last season was just way too unsustainable for this team. The San Francisco Golden Eagles, a 5-77 record. We actually took a step back, but that shouldn't be a surprise. Last season, we had 3-point-a-game players. This season, we didn't have a single player with 80 points. This makes a lot more sense. Connor Bedard only had 9 goals this season. He wasn't dominating on the power play like he was last season. Reality is set in for this Golden Eagles team. Last season was way too unsustainable. We're moving into what this team truly should look like. Like last season, we still had like 13 or 14 0 overalls on the team. When you have that many 0 overalls, do you really expect to win 6 games and then lose another 5 in overtime? That just doesn't make sense. So we've already opened all of tin number 1, and I think we were actually over odds when it comes to young guns. I think you're only expected to get 3 in a tin, but we walked away with 4, so I'll definitely take that. When it comes to our next tin, who are we going to be walking away with? I really hate how sometimes it's 4 cards before the insert, and then other times it's 5. I never know what I'm going to be getting. So this could be a young gun. I'm not 100% sure. Are we getting a young gun here? It doesn't look like it. We got Adam Fox, a glossy Adam Fox. When it comes to our next insert, who is that going to be? An encore Peter Kochetkov. We don't really need Kochetkov. I'm thinking we're probably going to go with Adam Fox unless we get Demidov or something, but it doesn't look like that's the case. Austin Matthews sizzle reel. This might be a controversial pick, but Austin Matthews, we're not going to go with you. We have already selected a handful of elite snipers. We need another superstar defenseman. So Adam Fox, welcome to the team. Now, so far, we've been building a very offensive-oriented defense. Adam Fox is an offensive defenseman. Of course, Erik Karlsson is another offensive defenseman. So 2 of our 3 defensemen so far are mainly known for their offense. But you know what? I'm perfectly fine with that. If we can get offense from the defense, then who's going to stop us? Now, I don't think I really appreciated what we did 2 seasons ago because we still haven't surpassed that season. A 6-74-2 record. We have added Nathan MacKinnon and Adam Fox to the team since we went 6-71-5. Like, it's actually absurd that we have added Nathan MacKinnon and Adam Fox, but we've actually performed worse than before we had those 2 guys. That just shows you how ridiculous of a season that was. Nathan MacKinnon, Dave Pastrnak, both of them are over a point a game. They're both actually over 90 points. Jack Eichel, 61. Connor Bedard, 49 points. When it comes to goaltending, Joey Daccord, 6 wins this season, 2 OT losses, a 906 and a 461. But yeah, we were in our absolute bag 2 seasons ago. Like, the fact that we had a better record then than we do now, no, that's crazy work. The Edmonton Oilers are taking down the Montreal Canadiens. I'm still hunting for one specific Montreal player in the packs, so hopefully in our next pack, things are going to change. I love how so far, I just have no clue when I'm getting a rookie card or not. Like, because of the way I'm opening these packs, when I first see a player's head, I'm just assuming that they're a rookie, even though I have absolutely no clue whether or not they actually are one. So this could be an insert, it might not be. I don't think this is an insert, nothing special here. It's just going to be Brandon Duhaime. So this is going to be the first insert we're looking at. Who is this going to be? It looks like we have ourselves a goaltender, and that's going to be Jeremy Swayman. Do we bring Jeremy Swayman to the team? He's an old stick on the ice legend, so I definitely wouldn't be against bringing him in. However, we do have a Montreal Canadian here in Lane Hudson, but as I mentioned earlier, I don't want to bring any Montreal Canadians to the team unless it's Ivan Demidov, so maybe we can get Demidov here. It doesn't look like it. Instead, we're getting a Gabe Perreault UD Portraits. That's definitely an interesting one. But you know what? I think we're almost forced to go with a goaltender here. I think Jeremy Swayman's going to be the guy we're bringing to the team. So we finally have our goaltending tandem set. Jeremy Swayman and Joey Daccord, 285 overalls. I'm going to be completely honest. For some reason, I thought both these guys were higher than an 85 overall. The previous overalls I've seen in past NHL games made me think that Jeremy Swayman and Joey Daccord were both higher overalls, but that's not the case. We have two 85s, but I know we can win with 85 overalls. I've won with worse before. So we were finally able to run two goaltenders. So because of that, our defense is going to be significantly better, but it wasn't good enough for us to have more points than we did 3 years ago now. That season where Bedard, Eichel, and Pasta were absolutely locked in is still a historic season. Yes, we had more wins this season, but when it comes to actual points, that's tied with our 6-71-5 record team. I know I've brought this up like a million times so far, but that team was something special. That team alone should be put into the Hall of Fame for what they were able to accomplish. Nathan Mackinnon, 89 points, David Pastrnak, 69 points, Jack Eichel, 63, and then when it comes to our two goaltenders, Jeremy Swayman's picking up 4 wins this season, Joey Daccord's going to be picking up 3. I'm under the assumption that eventually when we start going for Stanley Cups in the postseason, Jeremy Swayman's going to be the number 1, but who really knows, because Joey Daccord technically played more games than him. I'm pretty confident in saying Jeremy Swayman is the starter, but who actually knows? The only reason I'm saying he's probably the starter is because he has an X factor, and in this game, X factors mean way too much. The Vegas Golden Knights are Stanley Cup champions. That's going to be the San Francisco Golden Eagles one of these days. Now when it comes to this pack right here, I have a special feeling. Why on earth do I have a special feeling when it comes to this pack? I have no clue, but I just have a feeling it's going to be an elite one. And is that going to be the case? Well, we're about to find out. Ivan Demidov, welcome to the team. It's not Demidov. Instead, we got an Encore Levshunov. That is not a Young Guns Levshunov, but it technically is still a rookie card. Moving on to our next player. Who is that going to be? That's Askarov. Askarov, we're not going to be bringing you to the team. We already have our two goaltenders. We might be walking away with Levshunov, barring on who this next player is going to be. Did I completely miss an insert? Hold on now. Did I get scammed and only get 2 inserts? Wait a minute. Ladies and gentlemen, you just witnessed theft on the Stick on the Ice channel. We only got 2 inserts. Unless one of these cards is an insert and I'm just completely unaware of it, we only got 2 inserts here. We were scammed. How on earth has this happened? We only got 2 inserts? No, that's just not fair. So the 2 options we have are going to be Levshunov and Askarov. I guess we go with Levshunov. We really don't have another choice. Now, I don't think I've ever been more disappointed with adding a player to the team. Levshunov, welcome. But we're not getting a Levshunov Young Guns. No, we're getting an Encore Levshunov instead. Young Guns Levshunov would have been elite, but we did not get that. Now, it might not have been a Young Guns Levshunov, but you know what? He was a difference maker for us. An 18-59-5 record out of absolutely nowhere. The Golden Eagles are winning a ton of games this season. It wasn't some slow progression with this team. Nope, we added Levshunov and things completely changed for us. David Pastrnak had 114 points. He was plus 29. Nathan MacKinnon, 106 points. He was plus 9. Connor Bedard, 76 points. He was plus 17. The first line was absolutely lighting the lamp this season. Joey Daccord and Jeremy Swayman are both picking up 9 wins this season. However, Joey Daccord did have 1 shutout, so he was slightly better this season. But can I really say that? Because Jeremy Swayman had a 917, a 383. I would say they were equally as dominant. Then again, Jeremy Swayman had the same amount of wins in 8 less games. So you know what? We're just going to appreciate both goaltenders. We're not going to pick who is the better goalie of the two. The Tampa Bay Lightning are Stanley Cup champions. We actually might be closer to the postseason than I thought. Okay, this pack is already sussing me out. Colton Sissons is the first player we were looking at. When it came to the first pack we opened, Colton Sissons was on the front. And who was on the back? Connor McDavid. Did we just get a duplicate pack? I don't know how I feel about this. Sam Lafferty was... Okay, hold on. Did we actually get a duplicate pack? I think we did. I think this is a duplicate pack. We have seen this pack before. Travis Konechny, Alex DeBrincat, and Dylan Larkin. That is different. And then when it comes to the final insert, Sidney Crosby. So Sidney Crosby, you are going to be added to the team. This is different than the other inserts we saw in pack number 1. But nah, that is crazy work. This is literally the exact same as pack number 1. I think this is the exact same. Nah, Upper Deck, what are we doing here? Now, I feel like it shouldn't be much of a surprise that we're building a super team. Like, only the best players in the NHL are getting inserts. So yeah, Sidney Crosby, Nathan MacKinnon, and Dave Pastrnak on the first line. this shouldn't be much of a surprise. Now, with the addition of Sid the Kid, it's no surprise that we're winning more games this season. A 24-54-4 record. We were only 9 wins back of the second worst team in the entire league in the New Jersey Devils, and technically 8 wins back of the Chicago Blackhawks, who were 3rd last in the entire league, but they were ahead of New Jersey because of OT losses. But the Golden Eagles are one of those teams that you can't sleep on. I wouldn't be surprised within 2 or 3 players we're really competing for a wild card spot. That's a lie. I'm lying to you all right now. We are still a long ways away from competing for a wildcard spot. Like, we have a 0 overall bottom 6 right now, and I'm telling you 2 players are going to make the difference for us? Absolutely not. Jeremy Swayman, Joey Daccord, you put up some great numbers this season, but if you still don't have a team in front of you guys, what can I really expect you to do? When it comes to the Stanley Cup final, it's going to be the Montreal Canadiens taking it home. We're still waiting on that Demidov Young Guns, and I'm starting to question whether or not we're going to be walking away with it. I feel like the pack odds are no longer on my side. After just witnessing that, isn't this a duplicate pack? I think this is a duplicate pack as well. Has Upper Deck done this in the past, where you have duplicate packs of the exact same base cards, but the inserts are different? I have no clue, but this is a little bit suspect right now. You better give me Demidov. If you're going to be pulling a fast one on me, I better get Demidov. Logan Cooley, UD Canvas, that's definitely an interesting one. I actually wouldn't mind bringing Logan Cooley to the team. He's looking like an absolute stud so far. When it comes to one of our rookies, it's going to be Owen Sillinger. For a second, I was thinking this was a misprint, but I'm thinking of Cole Sillinger, not Owen Sillinger, so never mind, that is perfectly fine. And then it looks like we got another Sidney Crosby, but as we know, we already have Sidney Crosby on the team, so who are we going to be going with? Well, we're going to go with UD Canvas, Logan Cooley. Also, this was a duplicate pack. All of the base cards are the exact same, and they're all in the exact same order. What are we doing, Upper Deck? Come on now. Now, the top 6 is really shaping up for the Golden Eagles. Nathan Mackinnon, David Pastrnak, Sidney Crosby, Logan Cooley, Jack Eichel, Connor Bedard. That is certainly a top 6 we can win with. And then centering our third line is going to be Sean Monahan. Yeah, I think this team's going to be looking pretty elite in a couple seasons. I mean, what am I talking about? This team is looking pretty elite right now. They just need a couple more players for the supporting cast. Now, with the addition of Logan Cooley, I had very high expectations. Like, this is a man I watched score a hat trick against the St. Louis Blues in the first 11 minutes of the game. And not only did he score a hat trick, I believe he had an assist as well in the first 11 minutes. That man had 4 points in the first 11 minutes. We're just going to leave it at that. But the San Francisco Golden Eagles, a 24-49-9 record. I was kind of hoping we would have a few more points this season, be a little bit more competitive, but I guess that's not the case. Nathan MacKinnon, Sidney Crosby, Dave Pastrnak, they're going to be the top scorers. When it comes to goaltending, Jeremy Swayman and Joey Daccord were doing their regular thing here. Now, I don't think there's really too much for me to be concerned about right now. Like, we have an incredible team here. We just have to slowly get rid of those 0 overall players, and once we do that, we'll be winning a Stanley Cup sooner than later. Alright, so now that I know we're basically just going to be getting duplicate base cards, I'm paying even less attention to these. Nazem Kadri, is there going to be an insert behind you? It doesn't look like it. So we're going to be looking at an insert here. Hopefully it's going to be a rookie card. That's not the case. Instead, we're going to be walking away with Sizzle Real, Sergei Bobrovsky, but as you know, we can't bring Bobrovsky to the team because we already have our 2 goaltenders. So the next player is going to be a rookie. Is this Demidov? We got Demidov. We just got Young Guns Ivan Demidov, the chaser card. No, I'm gassed about that. Ivan Demidov, welcome to the team. I'm putting this in a top loader. In case you were wondering who is behind him, it was Alex Ovechkin, but we don't care about that. We got an Ivan Demidov Young Gun. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it is a glorious day. Ivan Demidov has joined the team because we pulled the Ivan Demidov Young Gun, the biggest chaser in the tin, and we were able to collect him. I don't care what happens this season. We can lose every game if we want this season. We got Demidov on the team. No, it's really a glorious day. Now, as I just said, I don't care if we lose every game this season. This season is an absolute wash because we have Young Guns Ivan Demidov on the team. Sidney Crosby, 96 points. Nathan MacKinnon, 94 points. I don't care about you guys. I care about one man, Ivan Demidov. 16 goals, 22 assists for 38 points this season. Now, I really didn't think we were going to be pulling a Demidov Young Guns, but here we are. In my eyes, pulling an Ivan Demidov Young Guns is the equivalent of a Stanley Cup. It's not a Stanley Cup though, so we have to continue with this video, but this is my Stanley Cup. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I am absolutely shaking right now. I really just pulled a Demidov card. That is crazy. And you know what makes it even crazier? I believe the last Montreal rookie card I pulled wasn't Lane Hudson. It was Logan Mailloux. I kid you not. The last Montreal Canadiens rookie card I pulled was Logan Mailloux. I can't make this up. I would love to bring the Otter to the team. Unfortunately, we can't do that. We already have our 2 goaltenders. So how about you just give me another Demidov here? I would not be against multiple Demidovs. Instead, Barkov's going to be an option. And who is the other option? Well, it looks like that's going to be a Cup Quest, William Eklund. Yeah, we're going with Barkov here. Barkov's the next guy we're bringing to the team. Now, with the addition of Barkov, we've officially completed our top 9, and there is no weak points on our top line. It is superstar after superstar after superstar here. I don't care if we have a couple 0 overalls on this team, we should be able to compete now. Then again, I'm saying a couple 0 overall players like it's only 1 or 2. We still have 5 0 overalls here. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Now I'm going to keep it a stack. With the addition of Barkov and the way our top 6 looked, I thought we would be at least second last in the entire league. But nope, that's going to be the St. Louis Blues, because why wouldn't the St. Louis Blues be second last in the entire league, considering the San Francisco Golden Eagles replaced the Calgary Flames? This only makes sense. Yeah, I decided in this video we were going to replace the Calgary Flames and not the San Jose Sharks. I know the San Jose Sharks are technically a lower overall, but right now the Calgary Flames are the worst team in the entire league. I just feel like it makes a little bit of sense. Jeremy Swayman and Joey Daccord were doing their things this season. They were both picking up shutouts. They both posted a good save percentage and a decent goals against considering what's in front of them. If we're winning 31 games right now, every player moving forward is probably going to be adding about 3 or 4 wins to our team. So I think we're only about 2 players away from winning a Stanley Cup. So we have ourselves some last pack magic. There is one more rookie card I really want, and that's Jimmy Snuggerud, of course. And this pack should have at least one more rookie card. So can we somehow get Jimmy Snuggerud? Well, this is going to be Adam Fantilli. Clearly, that is not Jimmy Snuggerud. So we're moving on to our next rookie card, unless I'm getting absolutely scammed. Logan Thompson, I don't need you. I've actually pulled this exact card before. So this should be one more Young Guns card. And is that the case? It looks like it. A Nakia Torpilio Young Guns card. Unfortunately, that is not Jimmy Snuggerud, but I can't complain too much. I just got Demidov in this tin. Yeah, I'm perfectly fine with that. I am absolutely gassed. When it comes to this pack right here, we're going with Adam Fantilli. No, I'm still shaking. We got Demidov. That's crazy. Now, Adam Fantilli, you do not have to be a superstar for this team. We already have enough superstars. I just need you to play gritty 4th line minutes, and I think you're going to be able to do that considering you're an 85 overall. Now, I believe the San Francisco Golden Eagles have finally done it. We are no longer the worst team in the entire league. We surpassed the Dallas Stars, Minnesota Wild, and the Boston Bruins. We've really done it. I'm very surprised though, out of all teams we didn't surpass the St. Louis Blues, but we're surpassing the Dallas Stars instead. Yeah, that is very interesting right there. But you know what? We're not going to spend too much time questioning it. David Pastrnak's leading the way with 95 points, Nathan MacKinnon 93 points, Barkov 81. I feel like it's been a very long time since we saw somebody with a positive plus minus. Like, it's been a number of seasons now. I could be completely yapping, and maybe last season we had somebody with a positive plus minus. I don't really recall. Jeremy Swayman, Joey Daccord, just keep on doing your things here. We need to add 4 more players to the team, and then we'll have a complete NHL team, but I'm not sure if it's going to take 4 more players. Now, as I'm opening these packs up, I better remember I'm still trying to win a 0 overall team a Stanley Cup. So we need 2 forwards and 2 more defensemen. So we're moving on to our next player. That's Connor Geeky, but he's not an insert. He's not even a Young Guns either. We are not too focused on him. Instead, we're moving on to our next player, who might be Mark Stone. Do we go with Mark Stone? He would actually be a pretty good forward, but there is another option here. And who is that forward going to be? Well, that's Mason Marchment. I don't think we're going to go with Mason Marchment here. I do believe there's going to be a better option. Unless there isn't a better option, and those are going to be the 2 best selections we have. And it looks like there is another option that we can't go with. We already have Connor Bedard on the team, so we're not going to go with him. So I think we're just going to keep this simple and go with Mark Stone. So Mark Stone, you're going to be one of the final forwards we bring to this team. We better get some elite defensemen pretty quick. So we've just about completed our forward core by bringing Mark Stone to the team. There's only 1 0 overall player left. However, we shouldn't get ahead of ourselves because we still have 2 0 overalls on the defense. And if we really want to compete for a Stanley Cup, that's going to have to change over these next couple packs. Now, Mark Stone, you're expected to do big things. You're going to be one of those guys that steps up in the postseason for us. You're playing big second line minutes. We're going to pretend this season didn't happen. In my eyes, this season did not happen. We didn't even have a single point a game player. Yeah, this season didn't happen. It doesn't matter who won the Stanley Cup. This season didn't happen. Nope, we're moving on. So with these next couple packs, we are mainly focused on defensemen. We can only bring one more forward to the team. We can't be walking away with any bum defensemen. So when it comes to our next player, who is that going to be? I keep forgetting it's actually 5, not 4, but then sometimes it is 4. No, Upper Deck has me tripping right now. Michael Amadio, we're not going to be bringing you to the team. Instead, who is one of the guys? Okay, we're bringing Cale Makar to the team. Plain and simple. Cale Makar, welcome to the team. But we might as well check and see if we have any young guns here. The next player is going to be Marco Rossi. It's a little bit speckled, but I don't care about that. Are we getting a young guns here? Potentially. And that young gun is going to be Ryan Leonard. A pretty solid young gun. One I'm definitely happy to be walking away with. But Ryan Leonard, you're not going to be joining our team. Cale Makar is. Now, Mark Stone, you let the team down last season. There is no way we're going to be let down with Cale Makar. We are left with 2 0 overall players. There is no way this team right here doesn't make the playoffs. I know we have 0 overalls, but just look at this team. We're not missing the postseason. We're going to be at least a 45-win team, maybe even better than that. Okay, I'm starting to wonder if the Golden Eagles are ever going to figure it out here. Once again, the team has missed the playoffs. 20th in the entire league. This is the best season we've seen yet, but we should have made the playoffs. Like, we should be better than a 38-win team. I have no clue how we aren't. Like, we understand how many superstars are on this team. I'm not just talking all-star players. I'm talking superstars. Nathan MacKinnon, David Pastrnak, Barkov, Eichel, Sidney Crosby, Connor Bedard, Cale Makar, Roman Josi, Adam Fox. You're telling me this team, because of 2 0 overall players, can't make the playoffs? No, that just doesn't seem right. Joey Daccord, Jeremy Swayman, you guys kind of let me down this season. Maybe that was the reason we didn't win a Stanley Cup. But I shouldn't even be talking about winning a Stanley Cup right now. Are you guys the reason we didn't make the playoffs? Because we didn't even make the playoffs this season. Now I'm going to keep it a stack. We actually might be able to win a Stanley Cup with some 0 overalls on our team. Because the way our team is shaping up, we are looking like a super team right now. This is what I mean. We have an insert. And we've only went through 4 players and we have an insert. Nick Suzuki. We could go with you because we finally did pull Demidov. When it comes to this next player, who's going to be a St. Louis Blue? Robert Thomas. Is it you? It's not Robert Thomas. Instead, Dylan Holloway. I'm actually assuming Robert Thomas isn't in Series 1 because I haven't seen his name yet. But you know what? That's perfectly fine. Moving on to this next player. Who is it going to be? It looks like we have a Cup Quest, Adrian Kempe. And you know what? I don't think we brought anyone to the team from the LA Kings. So Adrian Kempe, we're going to go with you. Now with the addition of Adrian Kempe, the forward core is now complete here. And I truly believe this team is good enough to win a Stanley Cup with 1 0 overall player. Just look at all the elite players. Connor Bedard, you're moving back up to the second line. When I had you playing on the second line, this team performed better. Ever since you dropped down to the third line, we just haven't been the same, so you're moving back up to the second. But as I was saying, even though we have 1 0 overall left on this team, you're telling me this team can't even be a wildcard team? I just don't believe that. We are a wild card team this season, and I also wouldn't be surprised if we finished first in the entire league, because that's how this game works. You get rid of 1 0 overall player, and you're immediately a 55-win team. Now, this is exactly what I was expecting after we add Kempe to the team. A 52-21-9 record, 3.74 goals per game, that's the best in the entire league, and then 2.84 allowed, that's also the best in the entire league. We're the best offensive team, we're the best defensive team, we had the best record in the league, everything is the best with the Golden Eagles right now, but can we be the best when it matters most? Joey Daccord, Jeremy Swayman, you basically had identical numbers. I don't care who's the starter in the postseason. I want it to be a surprise. The Golden Eagles are taking on the Edmonton Oilers in the first round. This is definitely not going to be an easy first round matchup. Like at the end of the day, we have Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl in the first round. They're going to be winning game number 1, but we're responding in game 2. They're going to win game 3, but we're winning game 4. So it's a best of 3 move forward. Who can win the most important game? It looks like it's going to be the Golden Eagles. Can we win one more game and move on to the second round? Yes, we can. A big 7-4 victory. That's what I was looking for. Now that we got past the Edmonton Oilers, I have a lot more confidence in this team. Like, Edmonton is one team that always simulates really well in NHL 26. The Anaheim Ducks, on the other hand, they're kind of iffy. Sometimes they're really good, and sometimes they're very bad. But we're getting past the Anaheim Ducks in 5 games. We're moving on to the conference finals, and now we have the Colorado Avalanche, another team that usually sims really well, and right now they're simming incredibly well. We're down 3-1, so we have a pretty big hill to climb. But you know what? I wouldn't count this team out because we have a lot of great offense. Nathan MacKinnon's picking picking up 2 goals in the first period. Cale Makar scoring for the Colorado Avalanche. I do want to mention Cale Makar and Nathan MacKinnon are still on the Avalanche. Also, Joey Daccord's our starting goaltender. Nathan MacKinnon now has the hat trick. Can he pick up a 4th goal? It doesn't look like it, but we're taking this one 5-1, so we're still alive. Now, a Game 5 win is not enough. We need to string 3 straight wins together. So we've already won game number 5. Now we have to win game 6. We can't even focus on game 7 right now because we haven't even won game number 6 yet. Nathan MacKinnon from the Colorado Avalanche is picking up the first goal. We are lighting the lamp in the second period, but can we hold on to that moving into the third? Of course we can, because we're picking up 5 again. So we're moving on to game 7. I need one more win. One more win is all I need from the Golden Eagles right now. One more win sends us to the Stanley Cup final, and I know we can step up when it matters most in the Cup final. We're picking up the first 2 goals of the game before Arturi Lehkonen responds. Moving into the second, it looks like it's a scoreless one. For the 3rd straight game, win the 3rd period in order to win the game, but we're not doing that. Marty Necas is picking up an early goal. Can we find a way to pick up the OT winner? There's a lot of elite scorers on this team. Somebody's got to find the back of the net, and that's not happening. It is going to be a scoreless first overtime, so we need double overtime to sell this one. Who wants to be the Golden Eagle hero? Erik Karlsson. Erik Karlsson, of all players, is picking up the most important goal. How on earth did that just happen? Like, out of all players, it's Erik Karlsson. Yeah, I was expecting Nathan MacKinnon, maybe even Kempe, not Erik Karlsson. So here we go. It all comes down to one final round, the Stanley Cup final, where we're going to take on the Washington Capitals. We won game number 1 but dropped game 2, but after dropping game 2, we've locked in back-to-back wins. We have a 3-1 series lead. All I need is one more victory, and that's exactly what the San Francisco Golden Eagles are going to get. It's going to be a game 5 victory, and in our first postseason appearance, we're taking home the Stanley Cup. In reality, this shouldn't shock anyone based on how elite our team is. Like, at the end of the day, it was superstar on superstar on superstar on superstar. Barkov, Crosby, Nathan MacKinnon, Cale Makar, Jack Eichel, David Pastrnak, Roman Josi, Logan Cooley, Connor Bedard. If you were to see this team, you would be thinking that we just put the best players in the NHL on one team together. And we sort of did that, but we did it through packs. Then again, if we're talking about the best players in the NHL, I don't think you would be expecting Joey Daccord to be our Stanley Cup winning goaltender. 16 wins, a 915 to 277. We opened some packs today, and that led to us winning a Stanley Cup. But winning a Stanley Cup wasn't the biggest victory we saw today. Pulling that Ivan Demidov Young Guns was by far the biggest victory we saw. Like, we got the chaser that everyone's been looking for. I can walk away a happy man today.